I don't understand what's going on. Clearly, the Samsung is freaking out, and you cannot go live on YouTube when the Samsung freaks out. Like, look, it's like, yeah, it's already like going crazy. And the screen started like flickering, like all nutso, and then like the YouTube feed was killed. Whatever. Don't try to charge your phone and go live on YouTube at the same time. It doesn't work. Now, what we were talking about before was the Bitman, 8-man, Ant-Man, whatever you call it. Lights are falling from the ceiling. Look at that. It's killing it. It's killing it. I'm loving it. Okay, we're going to go and give you a tour. And then what we're going to do is actually probably build some rigs, because I haven't done rig building live for a long time because I have so many to build. And we're going to build them right there. And it's going to be awesome. And it's going to take a minute because I'm going to have to like hook up the whole thing. And it's going to be a disaster. But we'll give you a tour. Okay, so we got our fridge. And what I do is I, put whatever anybody wants in here. And clearly all they want is Coke and water. So, welcome to Kentucky, y'all. All you need is some Coke and water and you're good to go. Okay, we have a bathroom that does not work. Why? Because we got a shower with, nothing in it but a beach guy. We got my office. Check this out. We're going to do this one day. We're going to put stars on all the clients' locations because there's over 10 locations around the world. This is the country that people love having these people services. So I just have to put this on my desk and start up. Otherwise, what I got here is my monitors. This is where I stream like maybe once or twice. And what this does is, I don't do a lot of lighting or anything, fix all that, but this is kind of my area where I can focus and crush through like orders and problems that people have, issues with their rig. I can fix it. Not only that, I have a great view of the actual location, as you can see there, so right out the window, I have a perfect spot to see everything. So that is bunker as it stands right there. So the main reason we stay in here during the summer months is because of air conditioning. Yep. So that's the main reason that we're in here, because it's so hot in there and it's just not worth it. Now, this is my retirement shirt. If you guys are wondering, well, how is he going to ever retire someday? That's how you retire. Okay. Now, let's. I'm going to have to wear my headphones because seriously, I can't handle the amount of noise that goes on out here. It's just so much. Okay, so outside here, what we have is the main bay door. The main bay door is used to cool the building most of the time. A lot of the heat is going up into the ceiling here, and we need to put an exhaust fan out there. So the idea is to get the exhaust out there to be able to handle all of the heat, because we know it's building up here, and then it's eventually making its way back there, and then it's getting too hot there, and it's just not worth it. So the main bay door is actually used most of the day that we're here. I don't even know why it's closed right now. Oh, we were testing the water wall. We're going to test that live for you. Okay, then outside of that, where those boxes are, this scuffed mic is hurting my soul. What happened? What happened to my microphone? My microphone don't work or something? I mean, come on. Is that better? Okay. So that's where the next rig row is going to go, because we just can't figure out where else to put these things. I mean, they're just too ridiculous. So, is this microphone not working? Give me some feedback here, guys. Come on now. So we're walking up the ramp now, and this is where we work on everything. So we come into our network here, fans, and we go through our rows. So each row is labeled sections and clients and that. Yeah. So it's not the best quality. Well, you know what? It's an iPhone. So what am I supposed to do? We're on quality call number row 7, row 8, and it's going to go here, 9. Yeah. There you go. So that's how that's going to go. Row 9 will be row 8 will actually be where these boxes are, and then row 9 will be right there, so on and so forth, all the way up until we have to move the RV. We will actually get to a position where we'll be relocating the RV. Yep, out there. Yes, while I am using the pool. Okay, so as far as the water wall goes, this is it, and it worked. It actually worked. So I'm going to show you what we did here. So on the water wall, this is the main feed that goes up to it, okay, and then that goes to this pipe here. Let me see if I can show you the pipe. Let me get this ladder over here. Okay, now I did not design this. My interns designed this and helped me out create this because this was incredible. So we actually hung the PVC with this little wire, this little metal wire over there, and we got real creative here. And then that shoots the water up, and then it hits this stuff, and it goes right onto here and goes all the way down. Now this needs to be like perfectly level. We've definitely learned that. You got to have this like straight level for it to work correctly. So what we're working on is a way to like not let this happen so that they all line up. Okay? Then what? I have the 8 GPU mult miner and you guys need it. PM me. I already have it. I just have it. I have a guy working on it right now. Let me show you. You don't believe me? Watch this. Oh, he wants the 8 GPU miner for Wubton. For Wubton. Oh, Yaximo's selling. Oh, he's selling. Okay. Yeah, check it out. Woo! Like I don't even have to like worry about this. Like this is the beauty of the internet here. So my guy somewhere else in the world is actually configuring the 8 GPU multi-miner. Yep, where is it? It's right here. Yep, there it is. So there's our 8 cards running on our one board, and that is what's going to be to power it. It's amazing. Woo! Okay, so what are we going to do here? So what we're going to do is feed everything into a trough, and then we're going to pull the water out with this pump. Now this pump we found is not powerful enough. This little guy, this was like 80 bucks, and it cannot suffice for the amount of power that needs to go from this tub. However, the good news is we are not adding more water. We are currently cycling through the water we already have. So let me plug it in and show you. Okay, so we take our first. We're gonna plug it. We're gonna plug in our main pump. That's gonna turn on the wall. Then after that, we're gonna plug in this pump, which pumps it out of the trough. Okay. All right. So here we go. So we're gonna plug that in. Now the water's gonna start going up into this pipe here. Okay. You can already feel it going up. Now it's gonna then start shooting out the top there. There it is. Start shooting out. Okay. It's gonna fill up our wall. Okay. And then it's gonna fill up this trough. However, that trough is already really filled, right? So that's a problem. So what we have to do here is plug in this pump. Now it gets even louder here, right? So now you can see the water wall is starting to work. So what the water is doing is filling in all the cracks and kind of flowing down. It's pretty freaking sweet, and you can already feel the cold air coming through this. Now I have to maintain this because it definitely it's leaking a lot, and I'm discovering that you really need to have equal pressure in here. So it's not leaking too bad, but it's leaking enough that it's going to require some maintenance. So, but as you can see, the wall is definitely filling in, and eventually it should all be covered. But we got little leaks over here, like this is a leak, right? And the idea is to recycle this water. So this water goes into there, and it cycles back into here, and then goes up, and it goes down, and it just keeps going around. So you can see the different areas like this. This is a problem. This is probably where too much water is getting built up in here, so it's not very efficient. So we have to adjust kind of our flow at the top in order to get the water to do this. Now outside it's great. So when the water comes down, we kind of just chalked it up for now, on these like block thingies, and then the blocks are holding this gutter system. The gutter system then runs the entire length of the thing until this trough opens up here. Now this trough is filled pretty much all the way. Now I can limit the water supply, but not by much, and this pump can't keep up. So we either need to increase our trough size or we need to increase our pump, because there's too much water here. I mean, this is a lot of water. This is like 1,000 gallons a day of water. So that should help us be able to cool this whole building. However, yeah, the only issue is I don't think it's enough. At the rate that people are purchasing rigs, I don't think this is enough to cool it. The good news is we have 2 other doors to work with, but it is very cold here. Like, just standing right here, it is very cold. It is only working off pressure of the building. The building is pulling out the pressure from the fans right there, and that's pulling air outside in here through cold water. I cannot walk away from this though because of those leaks, so I don't want any of these leaks to get anywhere close to the rigs, and the only way to do that is to just stand here and let the building cool down. Yeah. So, as you can see, most of the wall is filled with water, which is great. There are some areas that we need to, like, spread the water out. Now, the only other thing I discovered with building this wall is the pressure, okay? So, the pressure of the building is where your cooling comes from. So if you have things like that, you're gonna feel the air, a hot air from outside come in here, and that's not good enough. So I can already feel like the air is being sucked out there, which is hot air, not cold air. That's cold air. So we need to find a way to seal off basically everything. Yes, you can mail your rig here, not a problem. So we have to seal it off so that these things can stay cool, because this is the biggest issue right now, guys. You guys started all this craziness in a winter time with me, and we didn't talk about heat like this. We're talking about heat right now. This is our biggest focus for these months, because heat kills these things. It kills them. It's so sad. So I'm extra cautious on cooling. I want this to be as cool as possible, because we will be adding more rows. We added this in a week, okay? And just in a week, we're already getting too hot in here. So, as you can see, we are not adding any more water. We have this timer on here, and this timer allows us to add water at a certain flow rate. We can't even use it because we don't know how much to pull in. So, but otherwise, I'm not really getting too wet. There's a couple of drops here and there, and but as you can see, it's barely keeping up. So that pump is barely keeping up with the water. Okay, so that's the issue. So I can limit the amount of water that's going to the wall, which is great. And I can show you that. Let me see if I can show you that right now. So we'll shut the water off on the wall. Okay, so the water's off. Now, none of the pipes are glued or anything, so there is a lot of leaks from, let's say, piping and things like that. So now the water's off, and the trough is like literally almost overflowing, right? So this is with the water off, and even if I limit the water supply, it's just too much. So I don't know why the water looks like this. I don't know why it's bubbly. It is freezing cold though. That is what, it's amazing. All right, so yeah, the ice cold water is like the game changer. So we're recycling cold water. Yes, it's gonna get hotter as it goes down, but there's just something about how cold this water is that I'm very impressed. And it's going to help allow us to cool the whole thing. So right here, standing right here, you can feel the cold air really like encapsulating me. And that is great because I can feel it all the way across most of the building. However, this is only kind of covering one little area. It's helping with the ambient temperature, which is very important, but it's not cooling the whole building with this amount of heat that we're adding. I mean, you think of one GPU adding 180 degrees, okay, times, you know, however many rigs, 30, 40 rigs, and then you add 10 more rigs. I mean, it's just bonkers how much bunkers in the bit bunker. All right, so, okay. So as you can see, the trough is going down, which is great, but I don't have any water on. Now it's still ice cold, and I don't know if I have my temperature gauge around here to show you. I do. All right, so we're gonna show you. We know that if the fans are on, that the temperatures are not good enough. The fans need to be off for the temperatures to be good enough. So if we do the temperature grading at the wall, I mean, we're looking at, you know, 57 degrees, which is not bad. It's not bad, okay? But ambient temperature outside is probably like 65, okay? So if I go to the back of the building where it's a heck of a lot hotter, especially by the ASICs, you can see that the temperature here is probably pretty, let's say 75. Yeah, 88, okay? Yeah, so the wall is much cooler than the whole side of the building. But the good news is I can feel the wall right here, right here. So like in row 2, I can feel the wall, which is working awesome. So that's without water on. The pump is pumping into that reservoir, and I better go check that because that sucker will overflow like nothing. All right, so here's the water. Yeah, see, it's filling up quick. So we're gonna have to, yeah, we're gonna have to open this up just a little bit. Oh man, I can't do that with one hand. Okay, one-handed. All right, so now our reservoir is off, right? Our reservoir is really low, or trough. Our reservoir is here, sorry, and it's still sucking, but now this is turning on. So let me pull the ladder out, okay? I don't know what you guys are talking about, D2, but that's nice. That's nice. I don't know what it is. Now I still have to explain the equal pressure thing. Okay, so you hear the pump. So the pump's like, hey, give me more water. Well, we're already working on that. All right, so let's go up here and let's take a look at the water. Okay, so here's the water system currently. So when you see these bubbles in it, that means that your feed is probably not good. Notice the feed right here is a little much. So I don't know if we should put like a screen here or something. Most all the wall is getting covered with water, which is the goal here, right? It's very wet, right? Okay, you got demonetized on YouTube. I'm sorry. Anyways, I also need to make sure that we're using the full things. Like, look, this whole row here is not getting wet at all, but I'm leaking on the pipe. So, yeah. So this is the idea. You want to try to keep the water an inch before it hits the actual wall. Like if you have the water too close, like out here, look what happens. See? It starts shooting out everywhere. You want to keep the water tight inside here. So you may even want to like close this off even a little more if you can get a good spread. You got to get a good spread. When you get a good spread, then your water will go down equally and cover your wall, and it will stay cool. Now, I'm a little concerned about the pressure, and I know I can double the fan pressure because the fan pressure is rated at 22 cubic feet per minute. However, I think I'm losing a lot because of pressure, the leaking pressure from the building. Now, I can't seal off the building entirely, but I can create find holes and cover them up, especially if you see sunlight. Like, that's a no-brainer, right? So if I go down here and you see the circle of craziness, it's happening again. All right, so just about our entire wall is covered now, which is great. And I mean, this was 2 days work and 2 interns and hours of work to try to figure this out. Here's my issue. Let me show you. Outside air. See that? What's happening is the fan is sucking so powerfully, the air is coming outside, making this 90-degree, and then coming across into the rigs. And this is hot air. This is not being cooled. Sure, it would like to be cooled, but it's not going to be cooled because there's this space here, and that's outside. So because of that, I also discovered at the bottom, we have to cover up the bottom, see? We have to seal off everything because any air that can be sucked into the building without going through this is going to be hot air and not useful to the rigs. To make the rigs life longer, we have to keep them cool. I want them to be 80 to 85 degrees in here. 1, we need to work in here, and 2, yeah, I mean, you don't want your rig to blow up. It's gonna get too hot for your rig in your house, man. You gotta figure something out. Okay, so trough, water wall, reservoir, legit, it worked. So if anybody asks, does your water wall work? It works. Leaking is an issue, and obviously this is something that we have to frame in more correctly. But so we're gonna shut all this off, and yeah, that's amazing. Okay, so that's how that works. Otherwise, when I leave for the night, I add this fan, and it's on a smart meter, and that smart meter allows you to run the fan system. So the fans are running all off of temperature. I never have to wonder. All I know is that there's 3 or 4 fans on. It's too hot. It's too hot in here. So I really believe that this water wall will allow us to cool the whole building completely. All right. I'm sitting has house full and only has a small operation. That's awesome, dude. I mean, I started with like 1 rig, seriously. And these aren't my rigs, but. Okay, so the B3, you guys are wondering, the B3 is actually working great. It's over there. And I'm working on a way to get some amazing live streaming equipment here that I should be able to run off of the big camera. So we'll see. Otherwise, currently it is 89 degrees in here, at least at the wall here by the fans. It's probably a little hotter over there. And well, I'm excited, man. I'm excited. So thank you guys for joining. I'm gonna go get something to eat, and then I'm gonna build some rigs, yo. I got like 3 rigs to build tonight. I don't even know where I'm gonna plug them in, but I think I'll figure it out. I think your water pool at the bottom of the wall is collecting dirt from outside and it passes through. Hose have a filter. No, that's a great idea. It is gonna collect dirt and dust, which I do need to filter. That's actually why those things go bad. Those things go bad not because they break down. They go bad because the actual dust kills them and like clumps up inside there. So just keep that in mind. Yes, anyways, guys, final moments. If you would like to vote for the best mining channel, that would be awesome if you could do that. Thank you. Please put it down there. I'm gonna put it down there. Yep. Woo! Thank you guys. This has been a blast from the beginning till now. I mean, I want to say beginning till the end, but like seriously, it's not the end. Okay, see you in a bit. Woo!